I've listened to a lot of your stuff, and you was like, yo, you've been an entrepreneur since you were born. It's
Yep.
the thing you've wanted to do so much. So PMI, was that you already had that vision drawn up, or as you were doing the street team, you were like, you know what? I got this thing that I think I want to do. Or had that been something that you would originally plan?
Well, you got it 100% right. I've always been an entrepreneur. I was that kid who was washing cars. I was doing packing bags. I was doing anything, everything I could do. But this is, when you really good at what you do, like when you, and I told y'all, like I was brutal. Like I was a beast. And while I was working these records and we was coming up with these incredible marketing campaigns, I was doing it for Bad Boy, but I started to get calls from corporate brands, and they wanted to know, like, who's behind this? Like, who's executing this? And I started to pick up these accounts on the side, and at the time, and it's funny because, sometimes we tell people to go out there, jump out the window, bet on yourself. I was making more money on the side than I was making on my salary, and I was still scared to leave and put my resignation in. So it was just one of those things. It was a natural evolution. I was always a hustler, but at the time, I was keeping it on the low. I had to hide all of the side work that I was doing.
Yeah. So the boss find out, no, I ain't paying you no more.
So as far as building a marketing firm, how does that work? As far as like you just working account by account, or do you have like one big account that's kind of like carrying you over for the time frame? Because that can seem like a pretty stressful situation, right? It's like
being an entrepreneur is a pretty stressful situation. Like
that's a fact.
Y'all know that. So yeah, no, it comes both ways to answer your question. You get your retainer accounts if you're blessed and lucky enough. In some of it, it's account by account. Like, it might be brands out there that are launching new campaigns and they just need somebody to execute it. They need somebody to come in with fresh new ideas. And it's just for this launch, it might be for, the Christmas season, October, November, December, or it might be the launch of these new sneakers, or McDonald's decides that they have a new campaign. We just want it for the next 6 months. So you're good. So you always are juggling accounts.
What was your favorite
highlight?
Yeah, what's your highlight of your marketing?
Two come to mind off the rip. Number one, the Vote or Die campaign of
that was a big
04.
one.
That was 04. I had that shirt, and definitely had that shirt.
That was a big one.
Yeah. And I'm the man behind it. like that was Puff's brainchild for 100%, but we were the executors on the streets, 100%. And then it was the Ciroc Boys. It was creating that program.
So Nick Storm, you worked with Nick Storm on that, or?
I saw that show. I saw that episode.
You'll say, be careful, Nick's alumni.
Nick's alumni. I do watch EYL. So, no, shout out to Nick Storm. Here's the real, right?
That's our guy. You know what? He's our guy. I think he's the first, maybe the only, right, to bring his own wine glass and start drinking.
Yeah. No, Nick is dope. Nick is dope. Nick is dope. But here's the birth of the Ciroc Boys, right? I got a call before Ciroc was what y'all know it to be. Mm-hmm. Ciroc was selling something like 40,000 cases. I went up to the very first meeting with Puff and a woman named Jackie Lee, who deserves her credit. She was working at Diageo, and she was the one who had the out of the box thought that, we should bring somebody in that is on the level of a Diddy and have him put his muscle behind this brand. And Puff went in and the deal was done, and I'll never forget. Puff called me. It was 5 a.m. He was in his Miami crib. And he woke me up, and he was doing what he do. Prez, this one can change all our lives, Playboy. Like listen, man, like I need you, and this is his exact words. I need you to put that brilliant marketing brain of yours to work, man. Like this can be the one that set us up for life. And I had to sit and I had to think, what can we do that would be effective? And here's the deal, right? People know Ciroc now, but phonetically, try sounding out Ciroc. Like I was taking this to people in the hood and influencers, and people was like, Ciroc. Like people didn't even know how to pronounce it. So there was certain hurdles we had to come over, and then I had the thought process of, just one of those moments, man, where you're like, yo, it's the DJs. You know, my whole career had been working with the DJs, and that's why you gotta trust this process, man. You have to trust the process. I was a dude who didn't even want to work with the DJs. Puff and Harv Pierre told me, you're taking this job. You have to be the guy who runs Mix Show. That's what they said. Like when my man Malcolm Miles left the company, they made me run, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I built these incredible relationships with all of these different DJs around the country. And when I started to think about it, I said, yo, you know what? We don't even need to go far from home. The DJs are in the clubs. And what do they sell in the clubs? Liquor. The DJs are on the radio and they're shouting stuff out all day, every day, in between the hottest records. So I started to put together the hottest DJs around the country. And I didn't come up with the name Ciroc Boys. I don't know who came up with it. And I think it was Puff who came up with it. But
it was
me.
Who did he say came up with it?
I don't
Terrence
know.
J.
Terrence J came up? Yeah, I didn't
Terrence
come up with
J.
the name.
Terrence J.
that's right. That's a fact.
At the video shoot.
Yeah, but putting that DJ crew together is what really took us over the top, because it was a way to bring the brand into people's lifestyles in the most seamless, the most, like, it just was easy. And I handpicked every DJ, and I wanted to make the program aspirational. So if you became a Ciroc boy, that meant you made it.
You got stamped.
You got the stamp. Like,
Yeah.
I had DJs all over the world. Like, can I be a Ciroc? No, you cannot. Like, get to work. So, like seriously. And it's funny because we talked about Self, right? Self is a dude I've been knowing since he was a young buck. Like, and I used to always tell Self, because Self used to always want records. And I used to be like, yourself, like, you're not urgent. Like, I'm giving this record to Clue. I'm giving this record.
You're not urgent.
Yeah, and he'll tell you. And it made my heart feel good when Self went so freaking hard. And he had this city, New York City, on fire. It wasn't a club you can go to without Self breaking records. And I never forget the call and being like, yo, come up here. I got a record for you. Nobody else got it. You're urgent Playboy.
You're urgent Playboy.
Having Self be a Ciroc boy.
That's
like,
a drop.
You real talk.
That's a drop.
You remember what record it was?
I don't even remember what record it was.
You're
I don't
urgent
remember. I just
Playboy.
remember being so happy to tell him, like, yo, you made it. Like, you're official now.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.